Why is it? Where is this keyframe that's telling it to go? Well, basically, what you want to do when you want to just start moving more than one piece and more than one aspect is to set the key by clicking on here and clicking on the key. So this is our very first. I'm going to set the key here, and that sets it for all three aspects, which is you can see the colors in here, red, green, and blue, which I believe is movement, rotation, and size or scale. And right now it's deciding to move for no reason. I deleted this keyframe, but it doesn't know why I'm doing that. But basically, we might as well just kind of start over here. And, let's get all three of these selected, because there it is. That's why. Your keyframes are going to be different on what you have selected. So, if you always want to have everything moving around together, say we just want to move from here, to one aspect to the other, like here on the 20th keyframe, just say we're moving it up here, and that's self-explanatory. It just goes from one point to the other and doesn't get out of proportion, and we're only moving, we're not rotating or scaling. And now here, if we want to set the key again, so this is what I forgot to do last time, is now from here, it's not going to try to change, rotate and everything all the way up to this next frame, whereas it'll just only try to go from this last frame. So remember to just set the key if you're going to start kind of doing a different change other than moving. If you're going from moving to rotating or rotating to moving or doing a completely different object, just make sure you set the key from what you want it to be to what you're going to move it to be. So let's deselect here, select this, and rotate it. And move it. Oh, and of course, I wasn't selecting auto key, which didn't give us what we wanted. We'll try that again. You gotta make sure you're always using auto key, because that's what defines the keyframes for you. And there we go. Move down and up, and then moves it out, and then we'll move it up again. And make sure you get it to exactly the way you like it. Mine's a little off. Now it's better. And there we go. Now we'll move up. And I'm not really liking that it kind of crunches it down a little too much. So what I'm going to do is just move it up a little bit more and make sure I'm on my last keyframe here and give it a little bit more so it doesn't smush it down too ridiculously. And that looks better to me. And now why don't we try to do moving our top part of our straw and moving the whole straw at once. So we'll go here, set the keyframe, and you'll know it's set when there's all three colors here instead of just two or just one. Now what we're going to do here is let's move everything together. Control click, move it this way, and we'll move it down, and we'll also move the top part of our straw. Sorry. And tweak it a little bit more to what you want. I'm just tweaking a little bit so it looks more curved like a straw. And now, of course, all that work, I forgot to hit auto key. It happens to everybody, so don't feel bad when it happens. So let's do that again with auto key on this time. So that make sure you only control when you do click. If you do shift click, then it's going to want to try and make a clone of it. So now we'll move it to our 35th frame and move our straw over and down and rotate it. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Undo. I just wanted to rotate the top part. And move it a little bit. You just gotta tweak it to what you want. I set that up before. Okay. Now, what we did was I forgot to do a set key on this one. And I'm gonna delete it, of course, and go back to what we did again. And just kind of make sure you set the key if you're gonna go changing things. And I'm just gonna undo everything. Get rid of our last keyframe. Okay. Make sure this one's set. Alright, they're all set, which is what we want. That's set, that's set. And let's try this for the third time. And you know, sometimes this stuff happens. Rotate it, not the whole thing, just the top part. You know, sometimes this animation can be a bit of a pain in getting to exactly what you want and remembering to change the keyframes and be on auto key and set the key. But eventually you get the hang of it. And basically that gives us generally what we want. It can get a bit complex when you're trying to edit different portions of the same object and setting the keyframe for each portion of it. But overall, you can just basically that's the simplest of animations that we're going to get here. It gets a little bit more complex, but this is even a little complex when you try to move more than one aspect of the straw. Because they're bound together, and it kind of screws things up if you try to move two aspects in one keyframe. But of course I didn't auto key that, but that's basically our straw. And we got it whipping around and moving around. And I'll move it around again, because why not? And I'm just going to kind of give this a little fun animation. And that's basically our simple animation of the straw. Now to render, basically save our video, you're going to go up to rendering, click on render, go to, make sure you know where our animation stops, and for us it's going to stop at 80. So we're going to click on this range here and change 100 to 80. And we will change our output size to whatever we want. The more complex, the longer it's going to take, but I'm going to go HD TV because I like my videos in high quality. And then you're going to want to go to render output, click on files, and save it as straw bending, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go to straw bending 3 because I already have two other ones. And make sure you click on AVI format. That's the best one we're going to get. And you can also click here to increase the quality as well. I usually just keep mine at 50. It also depends on your processing speed and how good your computer is. We're going to click render, and it's going to render it for us each frame. You can see over here. Actually, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's going to be rendering it and going each frame by frame and saving it to what we want. And that's basically it for our simple animation of a straw. And I will go over next time with you guys even more advanced animations. Alright, thank you for listening. Bye now.